So kicking us off this afternoon for the final part now is James Bradley of Churchill. He's the CEO and he's going to be talking about building an AI platform for group-wide internal communication. Welcome to the stage, Bradley.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for having us. I'm James Bradley, Chief Exec of the Churchill Group, which means I have the privilege and pleasure of leading the business alongside many amazing colleagues. I'm joined here today by Moss, who will introduce himself in a minute. I like to think of Moss as the ultimate co-pilot, but we'll see. And today we're here to talk about AI and our journey with AI, but specifically to do with communications. So, that's my first slide. So, for those of you that aren't aware of Churchill, we are a group of specialist businesses focusing on the soft side of facilities management. So we're a large people-based employer, and therefore, as you can imagine, communication is something that we really do concentrate on and continue to refine. And the use of AI has been a really useful part of that. So just before we get going, just two things I really wanted to get across on this slide. The first one being we're absolutely on a journey, and we're very early on our AI journey, like I think many of us are in this room. One thing we have found so far, though, is that there doesn't appear from the explorations we've done to be one sort of killer move. There's not one thing that's going to revolutionise our business. What we found is there's lots of little things that incrementally really do add value to what we're doing, and particularly when we're thinking about communications. And then the second thing I really want to get across is that although we're early on our journey, we're absolutely confident and have high hopes that AI has got a place in our people-centric business. So looking forward to sharing some practicalities and some of the demonstrations we've done so far today. I'm now going to pass over to Moss to say a few words.
Thank you. Thanks, James. So for those that do not know me, which is probably the majority of you, I'm Mohsin Lahkim, and I am CEO of Symantiq AI, which I will tell you a little bit more about. So before founding Symantiq, and apologies, I will be scanning my notes quite a lot. Before Symantiq, I spent over a decade in product technology management across banking, government, operations and services, basically the guy between the engineering team and the executives, and figuring out stuff along the way. So before I dive into kind of more about Symantiq and what we've been doing, just a quick couple of questions. So show of hands, who sent or received a voice note? Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Good stuff. Very cool crowd. Okay, now who finds the listening of long voice notes annoying? Okay, wow. Almost a consensus there. So in a nutshell, Symantiq does exactly that. We ingest voice data and we take out the most important bits from it and deliver information to businesses. So, of course, we do more than that. So I've always believed that technology should work for people, not the other way around. That belief led me to start Symantiq 3 years ago. It began with me in a shed with a bunch of PhDs, engineers, amazing engineers, with a simple, ambitious goal: to build AI that truly understands and amplifies human connection. We weren't just building tech for the sake of it. We were figuring out how AI could genuinely make organizations move faster, work smarter, and cut through the noise. We built a proprietary machine learning model capable of identifying a person's age, gender, emotion, sentiment, topic, and urgency level anonymously. We've integrated this with context-aware generative AI models like OpenAI and Claude. And we're really excited to announce a lot more updates coming soon. So the result, a proudly British voice-first AI platform that processes thousands of voice notes while ingesting big data, whether sentiment or operational, to deliver highly valuable insights and actions, empowering our clients to make informed decisions in real time. So, voice notes are no longer a niche form of communication, they're becoming the norm. And as you can see by the slide, 1 in 7 adult British smartphone users now send voice notes at least once a week. Some of you guys are here. And it's not just a UK trend. WhatsApp recorded 7 billion voice messages sent daily in 22 in the US alone. This shift signals something bigger. People want to communicate naturally, quickly, and without friction. Typing is slowing us down. And AI-driven voice technology is bridging the gap between convenience and deeper, more expressive communication. Voice is the most natural way us humans communicate. And it's how we'll interact with AI. No friction, no learning curve, just speaking. So we designed Symantiq to be effortless, no clunky dashboards, no overcomplicated systems, just AI that listens, understands, and delivers the right insights to the right people fast. Most platforms promise the world and deliver maybe a postcode. We're not there for that. If tech isn't simple, people won't use it. I've got zero patience for software that takes hours to figure out, and the philosophy runs through Symantiq. It has to work instantly, integrate seamlessly, and actually drive impact. And we're not stopping at voice. We're just making it as easy to process big data, images, and even video very soon. That means turning all kinds of information, whether it's a written comment, a photo of an issue, a recorded message, into clear, useful insights that slot straight into your existing workflows. No extra steps, no hassle, just AI that works where you need it. So again, AI isn't just a tool, it's shaping how we communicate, process information and make decisions. The challenge is making sure it works for us, not the other way around. So here's a thought. What's stopping AI from being properly embedded into your organization? Whether you have an answer or not, I'd love to chat, so feel free to grab me after this. So, as mentioned, it's already transforming the way businesses are operating. I'm excited to share that we've been bringing this to life with Churchill, with plenty more to come. James will talk you through some of the projects we've been working on and the real impact they're already making.
Thanks, Moss. And I think it's fair to say in the time that myself and some of my colleagues have been working with Moss and the team, we've certainly learned a lot. And one of my biggest takeaways is that AI and particularly voice application is really on the up. And I think from an FM point of view, just to set some of the scenes before we, to quote Basker from earlier, we very much believe in ourselves as being doers. So we want to show you some stuff that we've been up to. But these were some of our challenges when we're thinking about communicating with our colleagues. FM, as we know, very diverse workforce. So we've got language diversity, we've got learning style diversity, we've got neurodiversity. We're also very much a field-based workforce, aren't we? So we've got people everywhere all of the time, and that sometimes is difficult to keep in touch. And then I think we've talked on it a little bit, and the famous 3310 has been mentioned a few times today, but we very much do still have hardware diversity in the UK and perhaps across the world, really. But we've got people using no technology all the way through to the latest and greatest. So as a big people-based organisation across the UK, we very much recognise these as some of our key challenges when it came to communications. And just to add a little bit more detail into this, this graph here from the ONS is showing us the non-English languages spoken in the UK. There's some significant languages, obviously, across the UK, as we know. Hamish McRae, I used AI to swat up on him. And AI told me that he was one of the formidable speakers on the future trends in economics across the UK, across the world. And one of the big things he was saying, and it was a really positive thing about the UK, was that the UK, and specifically within the M25, we've got the largest non-national population of professionals on the planet. And that was in the context of why the UK and London, and I'm an optimist, by the way, is a really great place to be from a talent point of view. And something else I've picked up from Moss along the way is that when you think about voice, you think about communicating, generally speaking, the further east you go in the world, it becomes harder and harder to text type, because the A to Z alphabet is absolutely how a lot of our technology is designed around. So if you've not got an A to Z alphabet, actually text typing is quite difficult, and you find lots of people actually type in English. So that's another consideration. And then thinking about neurodiversity, some statistics here from the ADHD Aware organisation. As we know, this is a topic that I think we're learning more and more about. So actually, I personally think these statistics are probably lowballed, but significant members of our business and the general population with neurodiversity. So that's hopefully setting the scene, a few of the things that we've been thinking about. So I just wanted to share with you now 4 case studies of things that we've implemented across our business. So in no particular order, starting with some safety-related communications. So like I'm sure most businesses, we like to promote the recording of near misses. That's something we've done for years, from the original methods on phones and on paper through to sort of more digitized forms, and people were talking about that earlier in terms of really sensible ways of recording things. And what we've used AI for in this application is actually 2 things. The first one is it works alongside the traditional methods. So if a colleague wants to report a near miss, they can actually fill in the usual bits of hard data information, but then actually leave the circumstances as a voice note. And as Moss was alluding to earlier, that voice note then converts into text and allows us to have data for us to analyse. But I think that's doing 2 things for us. One, it's helping our colleagues share more because it's easier to leave a voice note, but it's also allowing our colleagues to leave it in whatever language that they can leave a voice note in that's most comfortable or easiest for them. But the thing that I really like about this, and I will come back to this at the end, is that the AI is working alongside the traditional. It's ingesting the traditional methods. So we're not saying, let's drop the traditional methods, because that's still very well liked across the business. But actually it's ingesting that data as well, which is then generating us some key themes, which I'll come back to. So our second case study that we've been developing here at Churchill, again, like many businesses, we love to celebrate our frontline. I'm pleased to say, and there's been a bit of a debate on it, we have a Shining Stars programme that's designed to specifically celebrate our frontline heroes. So this is something we've been running for many years, again, in a much more traditional fashion. And one of the bits of feedback we kept getting from our colleagues, and as we know in FM, we're very busy people, very operational, lots going on. We love to be out on our sites with our customers and our colleagues, really driving our services forward. So when you've seen or recognised something that's gone on from a colleague or a group of colleagues that's been fantastic, sometimes the thought of writing a short novel around what they've done to recognise them is actually quite difficult, particularly if you don't like writing, or you're a really busy person, or you're running from one site to the next site. So actually integrating, again, some basic data capture with the ability for colleagues to use voice notes, again, in whichever language they choose. We've seen a massive uptake in the ability for people to put forward really detailed recognition. So as a business, then we can really make the most of celebrating all of our colleagues. So that's probably my favourite one, actually, because it's been a really nice thing to do. So far I've been talking about communication to colleagues from colleagues. This example is something we've used and we got very excited about, around using AI to digest a lot of data to then communicate to us so we can interpret it and do something with it. So this example that I've got here that we've used is we're working with a customer of ours, a leisure provider, leisure facilities, and we ingested lots of thousands of TripAdvisor and Google reviews. We then queried all of those hundreds of thousands of reviews with various different FM-related prompts, and then that returned to us this report. And interestingly, the first thing, for maybe I'm an FM geek, but of about 100,000 bits of data that we never would have been able to look at, actually over half of them were FM related, which I think goes to show how important our industry is to the general public and our customers and the world in general. But what we really use this data to do then is look at, right, when the general public of these roughly 60,000 reviews that were related to this facility for that period of time, which actually isn't a very long period of time, it's a couple of years, when we got into it, you probably can't see this. Oh, the screen's quite big, so maybe you can. We saw the overall sentiment of that leisure facility, but then really importantly, got into those key topics on the left-hand side. And you can probably see there, the top one, the most commented thing was about car parking. But interestingly, when you look at the sentiment and the feedback around that, actually it's pretty good. So when you scan down, we're looking actually quite quickly, you can see here, there aren't as many comments, but security was one of the more negative sentiment-based bits of feedback out of that 60,000 bits of information. So my colleagues and I were then able to really think about, okay, well, if that's what's going on, we've ingested a lot of data, how can we now make our solution better for our customer, for their customers using the facilities? So that was a really nice sort of big data communication piece. And then the fourth case that we wanted to share with you, bit of a plug here, but some of you may know that we're a majority employee-owned business, something we're really proud of and really excited about for the future as we continue on our Churchill journey. What we've used this for is this is an ongoing conversation that all of our colleagues across our business can have with us. I should have said actually at the start, by no means do we think this is a replacement for good old-fashioned spending time with each other. It's absolutely a complementary overlay to that. But the thing I like about this is it tracks over time sentiment around how people are feeling about being employee owners, questions they've potentially got, but also things that they might want to know a little bit more about, or things they're not feeling great about, or whatever. It allows us as a management team and all of our leaders across our business to really focus in on the things that our colleagues want to know about or be reassured on, or whatever it might be. But that's an ongoing thing, so that changes over time, and the Gen AI behind it continues to work to give us the latest and greatest. So I wanted to finish our sort of demos by going all the way back to the near miss, and just to show you an extra layer that we've put over our processes that I talked about around using voice and traditional, using the Gen AI to then actually churn out some responses. And what we've now done here, and I'm going to play this video in a minute, this is an AI generated video, and you'll see that what it's allowing us to do is find those generated insights, put them back into video form to share back with our colleagues. And again, this isn't to replace all of the great stuff we already do around safety. It's just that extra added twist. And for those of you that speak Spanish, Polish, or French, you'll be able to check me here. But we've got full English blurb here, and this just gives you an idea of how accessible it allows us to communicate information. So I'll just play this quick video.
Hey team, quick update on safety from the last fortnight. We're seeing some avoidable accidents across sites, and a few small steps can make a big difference. La mayoría de los cuasi accidentes provienen de resbalones, tropiezos y una iluminación deficiente, agua derramada, manchas de café, falta de señalización o habitaciones y pasillos de almacenamiento oscuros. Estos suelen ocurrir temprano en la mañana o durante los cambios de turno, cuando las personas tienen prisa.
Więc co możemy zrobić? Po pierwsze, skorzystaj ze swoich umiejętności dynamicznej oceny ryzyka. Jeśli zauważysz coś niebezpiecznego, zgłoś to. Po drugie, używaj znaków bezpieczeństwa prawidłowo. Umieszczaj je tylko w pobliżu rzeczywistych zagrożeń. Troisièmement, si l'éclairage est insuffisant, informez votre superviseur. Une bonne visibilité nous permet de rester en sécurité. Et enfin, lors des passages de relais, signalez tout danger. Un bref avertissement aide tout le monde à rester vigilant.
And we have some great news. We're now making reporting even easier. You can now use your phone to send a quick voice note in your chosen language or snap a photo. Just tap and talk, and we'll handle the rest. You're the front line of site safety. If you see it, fix it, report it. Thanks, team.
So, thank you. That's what I thought when I saw it. I was glad that Moss did try and talk me into making the avatar me, and I was thinking, absolutely not. But I think hopefully, as I say, this is not to replicate or replace, anything that we're already doing. This is those little, that was a minute 25, and actually we get those out. That's off the last fortnight's worth of near-miss data. And actually, it's just that little thing that might make a colleague think slightly differently that actually might prevent an accident actually happening on that day. And that's why I'm excited about AI, because it's just those little things that make a difference. I wanted to highlight these bits as well, these couple of comments, because in a good way, it didn't tell us anything we didn't already know. However, what it did do is draw ourselves to our attention to that next layer of detail. So thinking about this is the last fortnight's worth of near-miss data. We are in the winter, so when you really get prompted by the AI to think about it, actually I'm not surprised that poor lighting is coming up at the moment, and perhaps as we continue with this cycle, it will see that disappear as thankfully we're getting into some of the lighter mornings and evenings coming. But interestingly, the other piece was it was highlighting that on shift changeover is also where we have a lot of our near misses, which again we actually hadn't thought about before. So being very open and honest with everyone here, but actually we are thinking about now, and for that's another great gain we've had from AI. So summaries really, I probably said these actually, but small improvements across many areas. It's that sort of good old philosophy of continuous improvement. Those small gains really are making a difference. Hopefully I've made it clear, and this is really important to us, and I think lots of people listening today, that this absolutely does not replace the people side of our business. Actually, it just helps us get even better and spend better quality time together. And as you can probably tell, I'm no salesperson, but I am told that an age-old sales ratio is we buy 55% from our body language, 38% on tone of voice, and actually only 7% on what someone said. And the really neat thing I like about this project we've been working on alongside Moss and all of our colleagues is that actually we are getting the 38 plus the 7 by using this bit of AI rather than just the 7 on the traditional methods. So we thought that was quite an interesting thought to share with you. In terms of what's next, lots, I suppose is the summary. We are starting to work now. Now we've done a lot of internal things. I haven't touched much on our presentation, and I'm glad I didn't, because I think it's been really well covered, that proceed with caution with all AI for all the reasons that we've said, and we're really trying to tread a sensible path. And one of our real, I suppose, barometers is, are we putting anything into the actual AI element of this that we wouldn't put on our own website? So that's something that's sort of our guiding principle. But we are starting now to do several sort of deployments with customers across leisure, business services, social housing and transport. So we're really looking at how AI can now enhance that actual service delivery in situ, which is quite exciting, and we've got lots to do there, haven't we? And Moss knows that for sure. The second to last thing for me is we are fanics of virtuous circle. Like, we have learnt so much by using this and playing with it, and it's really helping us sort of gain our knowledge and really find. I've shown you 4 cases that we think are quite cool. We've done 400 that really aren't. So that's part of the fun. But absolutely virtuous circle indeed, and obviously look forward to continuing the conversation with everyone here, but hopefully clients, hopefully peers, and everyone else across our fantastic industry. So I have been asked to just mention this as well. If you want to have a go with the software, David and Elliot have kindly embraced it for a feedback mechanism. Please do test it, use lots of different languages, and all your feedback, of course, is really helpful to David and Elliot and everyone involved in organising, not to be too cheesy, but what I think has been a fantastic day today. So hopefully you can take the time to leave some feedback and use the product. Thank you very much.